You know that feeling when you open your inbox and find another Google review from a happy client? Well, we feel the same way when our listeners leave a review on Apple Podcasts for our show.
It's honestly so helpful because reviews give you the words straight from your client's mouth that impacts the way you run your business going forward. And the same is true for us.
Yeah, when we read your reviews, it helps us understand what you love and what you want more of, which makes the show better in return. And really, everyone wins here.
So before you listen to today's episode, could you take 1 minute and leave us a 5-star review and tell us one thing you're loving about the show? We promise we'll be here ready to chat when you're done.
And after leaving that review, make sure you screenshot it and send it to support@modernagentsocialclub.com with your mailing address, because we have a fun little surprise for you as a way to say thank you.
XOXO, the marketing girls. Just in the last, 48 hours, we've sent each other 7 different Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yeah, we've been working hard, folks.
Yeah. There are slot machines with candy bars.
Well, I was thinking more of like vending machines when I said that part, but
I was just in Vegas and I was like, I lost all my money.
I could go on and on about this one because...
Go for it.
How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have 1 account or 2?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are 2 agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market, all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guide as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Chelsea. Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Agent Marketing Girls podcast. How are you doing?
I am great. I was struggling a little bit this morning. I was a little crabby. We are getting our new website ready, and it's just a lot. So I was kind of just frustrated, and I was like, I've got to snap out of this mood. I need to be like ready to record. So I put on a fun outfit and I got a fresh cup of coffee and I listened to Giggly Squad podcast, and I'm like a new person.
You know what? You have to have your go-tos. Like, how do I snap back out of it and be in a good mood? The website is beautiful. I am so excited. It's been fun, like, seeing our content start to show up in it and be like, okay, this is how it's going to look. Yeah, definitely still a lot of work to do, but it is going to be beautiful. What's that line from Christmas Vacation where they're like, she's a beaut, Clark?
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
Exactly. And I just said today to my husband, I said, I'm not repeating a May 2018 to get this launched, which is when we launched the membership initially. And it was just like insanity. And I said, we are in no rush. There's no urgent deadline. No one knows when we're launching this. Like, let's take our time and get it right and not create unnecessary stress and chaos and nervous system disruption. This morning, I could just like feel my nervous system like break in half. And I like went to my husband, he was in his office, and I'm like, I can't do this in 2 weeks.
Isn't that so true though? Like, we put pressure on ourselves. It's kind of like people who are like, I want to post this every week, and then they miss a week, and then they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, no one else noticed. Like, just post it next week or post it today. Like, it's really, we put so much unnecessary pressure on ourselves, and we all just need to, we could all stand and just relax a little bit.
We just need to stop it.
We just need to stop it. We just need to sit down and watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. That's what we need to do. Yeah. Which a new episode airs, well, as of today. So we're going to be a little behind when we actually share this. But what do you think about the latest episode?
So latest episode, I believe it's episode 4 of season 3. They try to convince Belly's mom to support them, and she's not, which I mean, I could never not go to my daughter's wedding. I don't care if she's 18 or 40. So I don't know. Or whoever she's marrying, it's like you support your child. So like, I don't love the mom. She like gets me mad about that. And I love the dad because the dad is like so nice.
Yes.
I love that he said, just so you know, I don't care what you do. I'm going to that wedding if there is one. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Because it broke my heart seeing her like flash back to like being a little girl and her like with her mom, and like now her mom like didn't go wedding dress shopping with her. I'm like, it's just so heartbreaking.
Yes. And it's not like they don't know the guy. Like, that's what kills me. You know what's so funny? We actually just had this conversation last night. So today is actually, as of again, recording. Today's our anniversary. Today is 14 years for me and Brett.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Oh, thanks. But we were joking about it with my parents, and Brett and I, we only dated for like, I think 6 months or something before we got married. And we were around my family a lot during that time. So I felt like, yeah, they know him, and he had asked my dad's permission and all of that stuff. But like now my parents will say, like, we remember thinking like, well, we're gonna trust her judgment. We really don't know him that well. Like it's just like those like nerves of parents. And I was like, I'm so sorry that you felt that way. I thought we were all like, jumping on board. And they're like, well, he was fine, but we just really didn't know. And we're glad that you made a good decision. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, total opposite, right? Of Belly's family.
And they are young. And I mean, obviously the episode ends with Belly going to the beach house. And of course, Jeremiah has to go to work and she's there with Conrad. And I'm like, in what world is this happening?
Exactly.
But Kayla sent me this hilarious reel. And it's like what wedding dress Belly would wear if she married Jeremiah and Conrad. And it does like Conrad's first. And then I kid you not, I watched it 3 times. I'm like, I must have missed it. I'm like, where's the Jeremiah dress? It's just they don't show one. So whoever created that is clearly Team Conrad.
Exactly.
But another funny reel, which you said our member Ashley Voller sent this to us. It was saying like, I want her to pick someone else. Like neither one of them.
Yes.
Like,
it's a little too intertwined at this point.
It is. We'll link some of these in the show notes because they're really funny. But I think the season is really good. I feel like, when a show like gets more mature, like the production quality is higher. Like I feel like everything like looks nicer and like
more elevated.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
which
for sure.
kind of relates to social media, honestly. And I did not plan that. But you have to put in the time to get to the place where you're like in a place where you're like, I love what I'm posting. And even then you're going to have times where you're like, I don't know, I could have made that better. Or you get these down in the dumps feelings of my content isn't good. And it does take like practice, I guess would be the word, and continuously showing up to get better at it and to make it feel more elevated, or to get better on video, to get better at talking on camera, to get better at editing reels. Like you're not one day going to wake up and all of a sudden the genie came and waved her wand while you were sleeping and you wake up and can create an amazing reel. That's not ever going to happen. So it's that constant practice. If it's something that you want to use to grow your business, it's something you want to get better at, you want to feel confident when someone goes to your account and looks at it. Have you ever had, not necessarily currently, where someone's like, oh, what's your handle? And it's like, oh yeah, I don't really post. I don't really have anything on there. It's just my kids. Or we don't want you to say that. We want you to say like, my handle is Realtor Chelsea and you are going to love it there. And I post this, and this, and like connect with me in the DMs.
Yeah. So a lot of us, I feel like, are always trying to like we're trying to do what we're told, right? We're trying to follow the steps. We're trying to make sure that we're posting relevant content, all of those things, whether or not it's like talking about the summer I turned pretty, whatever that looks like for you. But sometimes we still just feel stuck. And I know like you and I get DMs all the time from agents just saying like, okay, like look at my feed. What have I missed? Because I feel like I'm doing everything that you're telling me to do and it's still not working. And usually you and I, within 10 seconds, we can see what it is. And let's just preface this by saying you guys could easily audit our personal profiles too and tell us the same things. Okay. Like the difference is we're not trying to grow our personal brands. We're trying to grow the membership, but we're not perfect either, right? Like there's things that we could do. So maybe that's the way we can look at it, because we're going to talk about kind of like how to audit your own marketing, how to audit your own Instagram, your email, all of the things to see where the kinks are, see where the things are that aren't working. And who knows, maybe by the end of this, you and I will be like, hey, we have a perfect clear direction for our own brands too.
We're almost going to reverse engineer your lack of results. So if you feel like, well, I am posting, I am putting my face in my feed, which that is usually one of the missing ones. I am doing these things. I am on my stories. We're going to kind of break down or get more nitty gritty on the exact, like, what are those things and what could be missing. That's that key to the connection or the key to getting the result you're looking for, why you're showing up and spending all this time on the app anyways. So I think I would start with the number one thing that I always think in my head is, are you having conversations?
Yep.
If you're not having the conversations, you're not building the community aspect around your brand. And that, I think sometimes when we put a label on things like build a community around your brand, it sounds like, well, that sounds great, but how do you do that? There isn't a 5-step process to that. There's not a 5-step framework. There is and there isn't, but it does involve you curating it in some way. And that really comes down to like when you're sharing content. Like, for example, take the Summer I Turned Pretty. These accounts that are sharing Summer I Turned Pretty content, they're not Summer I Turned Pretty accounts. They're accounts that are temporarily leveraging something that is trending, something people are talking about. To some of them are just fun personal brands that like to do this, and some are businesses that are kind of turning it into a learning lesson or a takeaway. And it's just a fun example of how can we use something relevant to have more conversations with our people, whether you share in your stories, I'm watching the Summer I Turned Pretty. Are you team Conrad or Jeremiah? Or you're simply weaving it into a piece of content. There's a lot of ways we can do that. But what that does is it makes your content feel friendly and approachable and like someone would have something to say about it. Because just in the last, 48 hours, we've sent each other 7 different Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yeah, we've been working hard, folks.
Yeah. Pieces of content. But honestly, I'd rather consume that because that will give me more inspiration than consuming tips or advice, because then I'll get like overwhelmed. So we've sent each other all these things and I'm thinking, okay, this is content that we would send a friend. It's content that we feel seen in or we have an opinion about. We feel like we can relate to it. And when you are whether it's a story or a piece of content, if you can think with that in your brain of would someone send this to someone or would they feel inspired by it? Would they feel like, oh, I can relate to that? Or would they just think that's not for me because I'm not buying or selling right now, or that's not for me because fill in the blank. So making it that conversational without, it doesn't need to necessarily get a comment to be conversational, but the feeling that feels like it's a conversational piece of content. Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes total sense to me, but I can understand if it's like overwhelming to some people. You know, I look at it like, look at social media like you look at relationships in your real life. Look at like friendships, look at dating, all of those things, right? You don't just simply start a relationship by being like, well, what are your values? Well, when are you available? What do you like to do for fun so that we can make sure that we're always doing the same thing? Like, what's your schedule? And we're not asking all of those things. We're more like, oh, wait a minute. Like, you have a kid too? Like, oh, my kid's in that grade. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, are you going on that field trip? Whatever. Or it could be something like, oh my gosh, like what you just said. Like, have you been watching The Summer I Turned Pretty too? Like, what did you think about Taylor's mom? You know, like just those little, like, that's just how you have those conversations. And no, that doesn't mean that whoever I had that conversation with, I'm going to be like, they're my best friend and I'm completely loyal to them. But that's where you start. Like, that's 100% where you start. You know what I mean? And so you have to look at that like that's just what it is. You know, we talk a lot about like billboard marketing, right? And how we don't want our feeds to look like a billboard. And I was trying to figure out like, then what do we want it to look like, right? Because we're not trying to make it look like we're these like really cool influencers that have like Amazon links and whatever. Like, we're selling real estate. Like, it's okay to like be very clear about that. But there's a quote that I heard forever ago. I don't even know who said it, but someone said like, in a world full of look at me girls, be a come with me girl. And that's how I picture it. Like, when I look at like some of my favorite accounts to follow, they're not just showing like, look at my cool living room or look at my cool outfit or whatever. But it's more like, okay, what do we think about this? Like, how do we feel about whatever? All the Summer I Turned Pretty content you and I have been sharing with each other, that it opening up that conversation. Like, okay, I'm going to share my opinion, but I need to know, like, do you agree with me here? Like, am I totally off my rocker or are we like in this together? Like, what team are we on? You know, and that it builds community and whatever. And yes, a lot of those people might only come for that content. Well, maybe these girls are like selling products, right? Or they are like, they offer like a course or whatever else. Like, maybe the people that are interacting with them over the Summer I Turned Pretty content aren't going to stay for that stuff, but also they're going to remember that she does that. And then when their friend says, hey, I've been looking for something like this, they're going to be like, oh, I know a girl. Like, she has a course like that. Like, it is the long game. Don't get me wrong. But real estate is the long game. So as a real estate agent, have signed up to play the long game. Like, that's just what it is.
It's really the question of, do you want to build a sustainable business for the long term, not just today? For example, us recording this podcast, we are now after 7 months, 8 months almost, constantly having people join saying, I listened to your podcast. I binged your whole podcast. It didn't happen on day one. It didn't happen on episode one. And that's the beauty of it, because you're building loyal people that are like excited to follow you. They want to see your next piece of content. They're bought into you as the agent. They're not just going to hire you because you're an agent. And, we talk a lot behind the scenes about how a lot of what we know works, agents don't want to hear it, or people don't want to hear it. They're like, well, that can't possibly be the thing that works, because why would sharing what I'm making for dinner make someone hire me to sell their home? And we have to remember that because it's the long game, these things are built slowly over time. It's these things that make you feel personal, like it's making your marketing personal, is what we like to say. And people don't want to do the things that do that. They just want to post the lead gen story prompt. But this is the thing. When you just post the lead gen story prompt that says, drop your email if you're looking for a house in Lake Country, but you don't do any of the personal approach pieces to it, no one's going to drop their email and tell you they're looking for a house in Lake Country. And that's the hard part, because you have to put in the time to build the relationships, to build the brand, to build the community around your brand, to be able to have someone say, yeah, I do want that next thing. Because if they aren't paying attention to your real estate content and that's all you're doing, then they're not even going to know to say they want to take the next step with you. But when they're bought into you and your brand, and they like you as a person, and they like the way it would feel to work with you, and like that vibe that you give off from sharing who you are, that's what's going to make it happen. Like, I think about Lee Brown did a whole this was years ago, but it was during COVID. She did a live Instagram every single day and was cooking in her kitchen, making like her Southern casserole and like telling us what she was making. But like within that, she was talking about whatever happened with her client that day, or a story, or something that happened at an inspection. It was the content cocktail. But if she would have solely gone face to cam, held the phone in front of her face like this, and said like, here are 3 things to do to buy a house this spring, no one would have watched the video. But you watched the video because you felt like you were there in her kitchen. You felt like you were like right there with her, and it made it feel warm and fuzzy and approachable and like comforting, and almost like she was, again, this, everyone's going to have their own angle with this, but she felt like the mom, like oh my gosh, she would take care of me. She would give me her best advice. I would be in such good hands with her. Like, that was the feel you got from this comfort cooking real estate show that she was doing. And she didn't even call it a show. She didn't name it maybe she did name it, like, I'll have to look. I don't remember, but I think she had like a funny little title. But the point was, she just did it consistently. And that was her thing. Yesterday I was thinking about this, because I think what holds people up is they're like, well, what is my thing? It's hard to know what is my thing. And a lot of times we're so close to it that we don't even know. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun, just because this would be very easy to understand, to put like a quiz together of which Friends character are you for your brand? And like, are you Ross, Rachel, Phoebe, Joey, Monica, Chandler? And for example, you land on Monica. Monica, like my friend Lauren is Monica 2.0. She is obsessed with cleaning. I hosted not book club. I hosted a wine tasting the other day, and she came, and Henry woke up and I went in the room to go lay with him again. And it was like getting late. It was like 11, and I'm like, you guys can stay or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, where's your how do you get in your cabinet? I'm trying to find the dish soap so I can do your dishes. And she's just like, so I didn't answer because I was laying with him, putting him to sleep. And she's like, how do you get in that thing? But the point is, she, in the meantime, rinsed off every dish, stacked them up, blah, blah, blah. I woke up and yes, there were dishes, but it was all like nice dishes. It's like Monica dishes. So like, if you took the quiz, you're like, which one are you? And you were like, the Monica, she loves to clean. She loves to organize. Like, what else she loves to cook. So like, knowing just those 3 teeny tiny, like very personality traits, how would she bring that into her real estate content? She could do a video series where she's cooking in her kitchen, like Lee Brown. She could do like more home organizational, like getting your home ready for the market prep. Like, we're going to make your home look like Monica Geller was here for 3 days before the buyers get here. Like, there are so many just little teeny things that make such an impact into what your brand is about. Be a series of something that you do for a limited amount of time and then move on to the next thing. Or maybe you're like getting bored with it or whatever. Like, it's not something you have to do forever, but it's that you're doing something that's different, that's setting you apart, that's tied to your personality, that feels like that I'm sitting here in the kitchen with my mom not consuming boring content about real estate when I'm not buying or selling right now. But I could tell my friend who's literally getting ready to move out here to put her kid in a different school that they should call you. I could do that.
Right, exactly. And you know, saying all of this, I feel like I can hear what our listeners are saying. Like, whoa, this is like I don't have time to figure out which character I am or how I can do it. Like, I get it. Like, if they're driving to showings or they're trying to get this deal closed, like all of those things, right? But think of it this way: if you really want to simplify it, even just the images that we use, the colors that we share. We have agents who will use the same hook that we give them for their content, but they will show it in different ways, right? So people will show that one hook and they're walking in the park with their kids and talking about whatever. Another person will use that same hook and they'll be sipping coffee on their patio and it's really quiet and it gives off a completely different vibe. Other people are really heavy on like the dark and moody filters. Like the same content can look and feel and give someone a completely different experience as they're consuming it just from the images, the sounds, like the music that they play. Like I'm all about like fun girly music, but other people are more about like, I mean, how many accounts do I follow where the people are playing like this beautiful like Nancy Meyers soundtrack type of music that's like feels really good. It's not really me, but I like to consume it still, but like I would do something different. Or other people just want to post with country music or with funny sounds or whatever. Like all of those things are part of your brand. So I feel like we're getting off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I think the point of what we're saying is audit your Instagram, first of all, in all your marketing by looking back and asking, am I showing more than just real estate graphics, but am I actually showing my personality in some way, shape, or form, right? It's not, the whole point is not to have our feeds be like, look how fun we are. But the point is to be like, give them something about you to remember, even if it's like, oh, this girl always wears like really cute loungewear sets, or I love her like bright lipstick, or her kitchen's so cute and she like stands there and talks about whatever. Like give them those little nuggets so that you're more memorable. That is the whole point. So that's like audit number one. And that's probably our most complicated. So stay with us here. Because another thing that we can talk about is, you know, talking about our actual content, right? So we talk about, first of all, consistency. I feel like we've beat this whole consistency thing to the bone this summer, but everyone is being consistent. Like consistency is not your problem because you're either consistently showing up or you're not. You're either consistently showing real estate graphics or you're consistently dripping in your personality or something local or something more like off the cuff behind the scenes. Like consistency isn't the problem. It's what are you being consistent in, right? So let's talk about more than just our actual post. Do you want to talk about like stories? You love stories.
Yeah, and stories are where the conversations are going to happen. Someone recently asked, should I get way more engagement in my stories? Should I even post in my feed? And I thought, well, that's a really good question. And this is how I explained it. Your feed is like your storefront. So if you're going to like walk downtown and look at like, oh, should I go in here? Like Anthropologie, you know, by looking through their window, what kind of store it is, the vibe, like what they have inside. If you want like a dress, if you want a cute coffee mug, like you're going to go in there. So your feed is kind of like, well, what do you talk about? What is the value you're bringing to your following, to your community? Is it like local real estate and your favorite local spots to go on the weekend, like whatever. But then when your stories are like if someone actually walks inside the store and they're going to talk to you and buy something, no one's probably coming to you direct from just a post and saying, hey, I want to sell my house with you. They have probably consumed your stories. They've probably been watching you for a while. And when it comes to stories, we want them to come inside and talk to us. Now, when I say, should you only post in your stories? My answer was no, because you want your storefront to stay looking nice. Like you don't want it to look like cobweb, dusty. Oh, they haven't been here in weeks or months or whatever. But the goal is we then want to get people in the stories, but your stories are being watched by people who already know and follow you. So if you want to expand that, or you want to keep showing up to the people that do follow you, you want to keep posting, but your stories are that connection place, that place where you're going to have a conversation. Instagram even said, Adam Osseri recently said they give less weight to comments now than they used to, because we're so much mindlessly consuming content that we're not engaging, because a lot of what we consume is people we don't even know. So they stop weighing comments so heavily, which is great because people aren't really commenting as much. Even when you see like a big influencer post something, you'll see their same influencer friends commenting to be supportive. It's not about the comments. It's about what is happening inside your DMs, and that's coming from your stories. So everything we just talked about, if that did feel overwhelming to post the personality stuff in feed content, start with your stories. It's like the gateway drug to social media. I would not like social media if it wasn't for stories, actually. It is my absolute bread and butter, my favorite thing ever. I should probably have in my bio, watch my stories because in my personal account, that's all I'm doing. But my point is, I think if we can use our stories in that same personal approach way, like share what you're cooking for dinner, share these little pieces of your life all the time, that's what's going to get people to talk back to you. And not on every post and not on everything, but like sharing like little things throughout your day are going to get people to start to see like what is it like to work with you? Like what would I talk to her about? Like it's like again going back to the what is your images? What's your style? Do you have kids? Are you, sitting on your patio with a glass of wine and a book every night? Like what is your lifestyle? And that's going to help connect you with your ideal people.
Yeah. And this is a great time to remind people that it's not even just about getting people to DM you or interact with your stories either. The point is, people are consuming your stories whether you realize it or not. And what are the conversations you're having when you go to the grocery store later, or you go to church, or you go on the field trip, or whatever it is? Like, are people stopping you and talking to you about something that you shared in your stories? I laugh all the time. There are people in my community when I talk about marketing on my page, I honestly don't get a ton of that interaction unless it's from like agents who listen. But people will stop me and be like, "Hey, could you look at this?" Or like, "Am I totally off here?" or whatever for their own thing. They would have never DM'd me on Instagram. But people are watching. I mean, like those silent lurkers. It's kind of like I took my daughter to cheer camp last night and they were all in the gym and then all the parents can sit in the bleachers and you can kind of come and go if you want. But my daughter really wanted me to stay. So I stayed. And every year, she's done this every single year. I will sit there and I'm usually on my phone, but I will catch her in the middle of doing cheers looking up at me to see if I'm watching. And if she catches my eyes, like huge smile. She's so excited. Then she'll keep going again. But I literally was sitting there last night because she did it a few times then. And I thought, you know what? Like, what a perfect example of our people are always watching. The question is, like, are we paying attention? Are we looking for opportunities to also connect with them, right? Like, just like she's always looking up at me, like stealing those glances, making sure I'm still here, making sure I'm still seeing what she's doing. Our clients, our future clients are doing the same thing. Maybe not liking something, maybe not commenting something, maybe not voting in your poll, but they're still watching and they're still paying attention. So the question is like, what are they watching us do? Are they watching us look for them? Are they getting our eye contact when they're ready for us? Like, that's the question.
Do you know what else I love about stories with that example is your stories are so easy because you're not putting together a carousel graphic or a caption. It's almost like this like a group chat feel. Like you're going to text your friend and tell them whatever. So like in my head I'm thinking it's such an easy way to bring real estate in all the time and it doesn't feel icky unless you're doing like we don't want our stories to be an open house flyer or a just listed sign. Like we want them to feel like someone is like driving around in your car with you as an agent. What like where are you going in the morning to get coffee? Where like when do you drop your kids off at school? As I say this, it sounds creepy, like someone a stranger's riding in your car. But like where what house are you showing? And being able to pop a little like even you show a cute house, or maybe it's not even cute. Maybe you show a house and you take a picture at like the entrance to the subdivision and said like showed a cute 2 bedroom or 2 story today or like just like these little tiny blips.
Yep.
And not everything has to have a strategy or a poll or a question sticker. Like yes, there are strategic ways to weave that into your content to make your content more conversion driven in your stories. But first we just want to get the stories out because we want people to come along with me style content that gets someone to feel like I like watching this. Like it feels like a comfort show. It feels like a something that like I'm excited to see the next day. And if we're not sharing anything but like linking our post to our story, like no one's going to want to watch your story. And that's like the easiest way to stay top of mind with someone. But even thinking about like what are you doing right now while you're listening to this? Like if you stopped and took a picture, what are you doing? And if you said like listening to Modern Agent Marketing Girls podcast, which by the way, sharing our podcast in your stories is so, so helpful for us. PSA. But seriously, if you took a picture right this second, it would give some context into like your life behind the scenes. And that's what people connect with when you do that over time and repetitively. And the strategy to it is when I said there's no you don't need to always have to have a strategy. The strategy is that you're documenting over creating. You're sharing the content cocktail of personal, real estate, and local in your stories. And that's it. Done. And you can share something real estate. You can share the book you're reading, and then you can share the coffee shop that you went to. I mean, like, it's that simple. It really is so simple. Do you ever get to the end of a podcast episode and feel like, ugh, now I have to wait until next Tuesday for more?
Are you asking me or our listeners?
I mean, I was asking our listeners, but now I'm curious. Do you feel that way too?
Honestly, I might. I mean, if it weren't for Modern Agent Social Club, because members get to be in the middle of marketing conversations like this every single day.
That's true. For our members, it's basically Marketing Girl Summer.
Exactly. Like, sun's out, strategy's out.
So if you love the podcast, maybe you've already started trying a few things and you're seeing results, but just imagine how much more momentum you could build inside the club.
Because the podcast is where we talk strategy, but inside Modern Agent Social Club, like, of course, you're going to get great content, as I do say so myself. But more than that, you're going to get a results-driven marketing plan.
Carousels and reel prompts and emails, it's all great. But how do they all work together to make you the real estate go-to girl? That's why we provide you with an entire marketing system so you don't have to figure out how all these pieces connect.
So if you're tired of waiting a whole week between episodes and you're tired of DIYing your real estate marketing, make this your most fun and productive summer yet.
And join us today at modernagentsocialclub.com for your first official Marketing Girl Summer. Now back to the show.
It really is. That brings us kind of to the third one. So we kind of talked about like being consistent with showing like your personal brand, using that Modern Agent content cocktail that we talk a lot about in episode 16. I think I've got that memorized now. 16. You can go back and listen to that. So that's the first one. Second is like showing up in your stories, being consistent with that, whatever. But to tie that together, let's talk about showing your face and talking to the camera. Like, or even like voiceovers, like give me something. I look at people all the time who are like, I don't know why this isn't working. And I look through it, I'm like, I don't even know what you sound like. I don't know, like, I know nothing about you. All I'm seeing is pictures of you. And I mean, let's face it, in this day and age, is this just AI? Like, is this even real? You know what I mean? And so if you can show something, and let me just tell you, I know it can be intimidating. I was a beginner at this one time too. And like, it's intimidating and it's weird. Gosh, there were times that I posted stuff to stories or like made videos. And then I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I had something in my teeth or like something, or like, oh, I had like dog hair on my shirt or something. And I was like, why? Like, I should just delete it, whatever. But the bottom line is like, if you're not willing to practice, you're not going to get better at it. It's kind of like the saying, like marketing is not a magic trick. Right? Like, it's like a muscle that you have to work out over and over and over again. You have to get those reps in so that you can start to get good at it. Not only get good at it, but also like improve your form. Like, find what works for you. You might find, like, listen to me, I sound like some workout queen, but like you might find there's some workouts that just aren't for you or that you just hate, but you're gonna find others that you're like, that just feels good and I'm noticing results and I'm gonna keep going with that. Right? Like, we have to, it's not a slot machine. You don't put a coin in and get a candy bar coming out. Like, you have to get your reps in.
There are slot machines with candy bars.
Well, I was thinking more of like vending machines when I said that part, but
I was just in Vegas and I was like, I lost all my money.
You're like, I missed that one. I should have gone to that part. Yeah. So like, when you are auditing your Instagram, like, again, you have to look back. And if you don't see in those first 9 squares, if there is not at least one video of you talking to the camera, or at least give me a voiceover that you can like literally read, so there's no excuse, like, you're not going to come across, like, first of all, that you are like real, relatable, and approachable, but also like, you're not going to come across like you're serious. You know, it's like, I don't know. I mean, people use our content, right? Like we have members who use our content. So you would think we'd be like, yay, it looks great. But like our content was never meant to be used solely like, just put this graphic here, put this here, whatever. Like, yes, there's a place for that. Like include those for sure. But also take this one hook and make it a reel, or take this one caption and make it your script. You have to put that work in if you want to continue to improve and if you want to become more memorable in your community, all of those things.
And here's the thing, I know that time is an issue. It's an issue for everybody. But my question is, what is going to cost you more time? Would be if you're going to post and check the box and then not get the results out of it, not get the referrals, the more clients, the bigger email lists, being in front of more people in the click of a button, in the push through of an email. Is that going to cost you more than the time it would take to instead do a reel that has your voice in it that someone can hear, or to take one day a week to have your face on camera in your stories talking like you're talking to a friend? Run it through the Modernation filter. The filter is, does this feel like something I would say to my friend? And if it doesn't, if it feels or looks like a robot, work on it a little bit more. But it's going to cost you more time if you keep avoiding the things that are going to get you the results faster. So how can we like switch that? We like, what's so cool is you can compress time by choosing to do different activities, by
Yeah.
choosing to get your face and your voice and your feed and be able for someone to see you. In fact, I just saw this reel. I sent it to you. It's from Talk to May, and she said, she's basically saying she's the pretty feed police is what she says. And she said all of the Instagram accounts that have millions of followers and these big businesses, she used Mel Robbins as an example, Gary Vee. Her point is, if you look at their feeds aren't pretty, but what are they full of? What did you say, Kayla, when I sent this to you?
Oh, they're full of their face and they're talking.
Yeah.
Like talking to the camera, answering an interview question, which we've talked about. Gosh, you can host like a faux interview. You don't have to actually be interviewed, but you can sit in a chair and be like, what's my favorite whatever? Or like, what do I think about this? Or what am I seeing right now? It's this. And just talk.
There's this mama or the mini dietitian, and I love this reel. She sits down at the table and has like an X through it, and it says, instead of doing this at meal times with your little ones, and she's like talking like, I made you your favorite, you love this one last time, and she's acting like the mom that you shouldn't act like, basically. And then she has like an extra, it's so visually appealing, like it makes you want to watch it, and she's in it talking, so it's like you just instantly feel like, I want to go see what other content does she have? I mean, like something like that. You don't even need you would set your phone against like a candle at your kitchen table, sit down and kind of put this fun spin on like maybe what a client shouldn't do. Like, oh, I waited until I found the house I wanted to reach out, and I didn't realize I had to sell my own, and now I can't have it. Whatever. You could make up some scenario. But there's lots of ways you can get your face in your feed is our point. There isn't a right way or a wrong way, but it's getting it in there in a way that feels like I'm actually like able to see what it would be like if we were together in person, having coffee or talking about selling my house or the first steps about buying, like something that paints someone in the picture of what would it be like if I reached out. And that's how you can compress time. You can make someone feel like they know you and like you're the right fit faster through doing those types of activities than if you're sending postcards and praying someone calls you. Or, you know, what else do people do? Oh my gosh, I don't know. We did door knocker 2 nights ago, and I put on my stories. I was laying on my couch. I'm like, "Mark, duck, duck." I'm laying on my couch, and he rides up on his scooter. This is like the new door knocker thing. They ride on scooters, maybe just for like efficiency. But, like, that's not getting a workout in, and that would be my only benefit to door knocking. So, anyways, we don't answer the door, and I'm watching Bachelor in Paradise for the first time. I haven't watched this in years, and I was like, "I'm not getting up to answer the door during Bachelor in Paradise," and I had all these people respond to me like, "Not during golden hour, not during this, like, know your window," or whatever, and Henry was sleeping, and he rings the doorbell and bangs on the door,
Yes.
and I'm like,
So
"Oh my god."
obnoxious.
My blood is boiling over that part, but also, like, I'm not getting up. I don't care if you can see me sitting right here. Like, I don't know why I'm bringing that up because none of you door knock, but it's just a point of, like, the difference in would I wanna work with you or not? Like, I wanna work with the person that's like, "Let's go get coffee. Let's go get a glass of wine. I want your advice on this topic. I like feel like I know you already and I feel comfortable, and
Right.
therefore I will be willing to share with you what I need you to know to get me to buy or sell a home.
Yeah. So I think the challenge this week for people is to post something where you're talking to the camera. It can be a 10-second video and start in your stories, sure, but I want you within 1 week of listening to this episode to post something to your feed that's you talking to the camera and then tag us because we want to see you. Okay, the next one is a good way to audit yourself. Have I been sending emails? And again, we're holding people to the modern agent standard. So are you sending emails every other week? I could go on and on about this one
Go
because,
for it.
I mean, okay, listen. First of all, I'm going to talk to our members first, okay? Members, you don't even have to write the email. You literally already have it. I have so much more grace and empathy for non-members who have to start from scratch. Like, that is more difficult. That is a lot harder to think, well, what should I send and how do I do this? Whatever. Members, you literally have the tool. And we've had people tell us that they're able to send an email within like 3 minutes because they have everything that they need. They can copy and paste it, edit 3 different things, and they're good to go. Like, it is just that simple. So, not making time for it, because that's what it is, right? It's not that you don't have time for it, it's that you're not making time for it. So, are you going to choose today, like, you know what, if I'm going to audit and if I want better results from what I'm doing, if I've been working really hard and I'm not seeing results, and this little part here is the thing that's lacking, and this is the thing I'm not doing, you need to do it. You need to send those emails, right? And then to non-members as well. Listen, I get it. It can be overwhelming. I'm like a writer at heart, so to me, it's not quite as hard, but I understand like it doesn't come naturally for people. But think of it this way. At least send one paragraph of like a little story, something that you're up to. It can have something to do with real estate. It could be like, I came home from a busy day of showings and I came home to my kids like didn't put the dishes away. They didn't do this, whatever. And I just had to, like, I'm literally coming up with this at the top of my head. But like, it just got me thinking, like, you know, if we would spend our time like this, or if we would make that a priority at the beginning of the day, then they could have still spent the day how they wanted to, you know, whatever. And then like tie that into real estate somehow. And then add like, this is one thing locally that's going on this week, or here's a listing that I have, or, and notice I'm saying or, not and. You don't need to post all the things, but like, put like at least 2 different segments in your email and send it out. You have to do this because here's the deal. Like, you want to talk about compressing time. Most of our followers, like, what is it, 97% of our followers aren't even seeing the content that we're working so hard to put out there on Instagram. Like, they're not even seeing it. But every time you send an email, 100% of those email subscribers are going to see your name in their feed, like, or in their inbox. So, are you going to take advantage of that or not? Like, that's my soapbox. Okay.
Well, I will add to that. With that, you can then drive them back to your Instagram. I mean, if you're sending an email, here's an example. Okay, so we ordered from this place called Simple Eats MKE this week, and it's pre-cooked. You just heat it up. It's really good. The price is insane to me because I must not be good at grocery shopping, but I feel like it would cost me more to do that all myself and buy all those ingredients
Yeah.
than it does for me to buy this. And we haven't done this in a long time, but it's a busy week. I bought it. So like my email might be something like, have you ever had one of those weeks where you just can't keep up, blah, 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 blah. I have this local hack. It's called Simple Eats MKE. Their food is so good. Their menu is, I mean, they're the most like non-basic meals ever. Like next week's menu is like French onion meatloaf. Like I love meatloaf. I feel like I've talked about that on this podcast. But like that, it's just they have like really good bowls. Like they're not basic, gross, heated up meal. They're really good. And so it's like a treat, and I don't have to cook. It's like a million treats, and then you don't have dishes. I mean, like I could go on and on, right, about the value. But I would send that in an email, and then I could say, "P.S. I just created this," or let me find the post I want. It's from our membership. Can't afford the home you want. Do this instead. We talked about in our members training, this would be a really good voiceover with a B-roll reel. And it talks about buy a home you can afford in a location with the strong potential for growth and hold on to it. And then it goes on to explain like how you could do that now and leverage real estate, all the things. I might link to that post and say like what I'm up to on Instagram lately. and then link that post, drive them to my Instagram. And now they're clicking on my Instagram. They'll be more likely to see my next post or my next story. I sent them an email. I shared something valuable. I highlighted a local business. Like, oh my gosh, that is the most like bang for your buck thing you could possibly do. And you're not going to have a story like that every week. But if you're kind of going through like, well, what should I email? What happened today, this morning, that you could turn into a quick little story? What recommendation do you have for someone from something that you tried recently? What local event did you go to and love? Or what are you doing this weekend? Maybe you're going to a Brewers game, a baseball
Yeah.
game, and you say like, "How have you been? I haven't been to a game in 5 years. When's do you go to Brewers games a lot? I'm gonna give away 2 tickets.
Right.
Follow me on Instagram and comment on my most recent post, and I'm gonna pick someone by Friday." Like, oh my gosh, you guys,
Right?
if you could be in the room with us in real life, we will make you a real estate billionaire very quickly. No, I'm just kidding. But all you should do is listen to this podcast and we will like just I want you so badly. People you listen to this, you take notes, you take screenshots, you go to our show notes, you maybe screenshot all of those. We want you to act. Because if you're not acting, if you're not doing the implementation, nothing's going to happen. We want you to get further faster. And by doing these types of things, you're going to get further faster. If you're sending emails, you're going to build your business more quickly and build long-term clients for yourself that are ready in December, January, February, March than you will if you're not. Like that's how you compress time. That's how you get to make this all work a lot faster than it is for other people.
Yeah. I have no notes. You nailed it. I totally agree. And yeah, and I don't know. There's just so much power in it. So if you aren't doing that currently, then you can't tell us your marketing or marketing doesn't work, right? Like you have to make sure you're checking all of these boxes as you go along. I think one of the last ones that I would add is, and this is very basic, but like let's review your profile. Okay, let's review this. I still see agents have a logo as their photo of themselves, or they will have a photo of themselves, but you can barely see their face. Like, we need to see your face. We need to see a face. I just told an agent recently, she messaged us. She was so sweet. She messaged this whole long thing about like the podcast and a couple other things, whatever. She was super sweet. But I voice messaged her back, but I told her at the very end, I said, hey, I was like, just a little heads up. I almost deleted your message because her profile picture was a logo and it looked like it went to our spam folder because we weren't following her at the time. And like, it looked like just another one of those hundreds of spam messages that we get all the time. So if it would have been like a face, I would have been much more likely to be like, oh, I wonder if this is like an agent, or I wonder if someone has a question, and I would have listened. Thankfully, I did open up the message and I was able to see her message because she was awesome. But we have to have our faces in there. We have to have our names. Can I just say this? So like, no matter what your handle is, whether your handle includes your name or not, that name slot, you have to have your name there. And you can put something like Kayla Fox, like Columbia City Realtor if you want, but lead with your name, because as you are DMing people, as your content is starting to work and as you're getting more interaction and conversations and all that with people are going to see that you're sending them a message. And if the message says Columbia City Realtor instead of Kayla, they're going to probably delete it or ignore it or assume you're just trying to sell them something, even if you're not that kind of person. So lead it with your name, and then they're much more likely to like interact with you. They don't, it's kind of like that bait and hook thing that like, and I feel like girls don't do it as often anymore, but we all get those messages, right? Where they're like, hey girl, like haven't seen you in 15 years since high school, but whatever. Like, I just think that you could really benefit from this product and whatever. That immediate, like you think immediately like, oh, they were going to be nice to me and now they're just trying to get money out of me. Like, that's not what I want. And that's what the people, our followers have that radar like on full force all the time. They are always looking out for that. So have your name, have your picture. What else would you add to that?
Make your handle not confusing. I see a lot of handles too that are, I don't know what they are. They're maybe like initials, abbreviations, something fun. Like I would just make my handle like Realtor Chelsea or Lake Country Realtor Chelsea or Chelsea Peterson. So I don't know. I would just keep it really simple. Don't be creative with it. Like something easy to type in, I guess, so that you could tell someone like, yeah, follow me at Realtor Chelsea. Unfortunately, my name you have to spell. But if you don't have a name that you have to spell out for someone, like I feel like that's just it makes it so simple. Or if I'm trying to like go look someone up, like if I know what their name is, like Natalie Ellis from Boston, I am Natalie. I mean, how can you get that
Yep.
wrong? Maybe
Right.
it's I'm Natalie Ellis, but still, you know what I'm saying. Or people who maybe have, like, don't put, like, your middle initial in between your first and last name, and I know people try to do that to, like, get their full name in there, but then it just feels confusing to type. Not the end of the world, but just make it as clear as possible. Honestly, like, with the whole audit thing, if you could go to your account right now and pretend like one of your really good friends sent you this, they told their friend at baseball, this other mom, to go look you up because you're an awesome realtor, blah, blah, blah. What are they gonna find? Are they gonna be able to figure out, like, anything about you personally? Are they gonna be able to connect with you in some way? Again, we talk about this a lot. You don't have to have something in direct commonality, but people find things in common. So if you love to read and they look you up and they don't like to read, they probably have a hobby they do like, and that's the connection. It doesn't need to be deep, it doesn't need to be exact, but it's the fact that you're talking about something that, like, builds who you are. Is your bio clear? Like, is it clear that, like, where you sell real estate, how you help someone? Or is it just like, dog mom, I love books and I'll help you find your dream home? Like, make it deeper. I mean, oh my gosh, ChatGPT could help you make it better than that. And they're not even that great.
Yeah, exactly. Just going off of what you said, like, just saying, like, would you follow you? Like, and I think it's okay to be honest with ourselves. Like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm not, like, look at the accounts that I choose to follow and look at mine. Like, what's the difference here? And it's not like you have to suddenly, again, be an influencer or share these cool things, whatever. You follow different people for different reasons, right? But, like, just ask yourself, like, what would make me want to follow me? And if you don't see it, then time to make some adjustments.
And ask yourself too, if you don't see it and you're like, "Well, I don't know," ask yourself, like, what would make like, looking at your internal life, like, not your feed, what about the things you do would make someone wanna follow you? And try it, like, that could be your key as to what you should start sharing more about or start bringing into your feed, and it might be something you're not doing at all right now.
Yep.
I have one more audit before we go, and this audit is a time audit. So I recently, not recent, we always have conversations like this, like questions we get from people where sometimes I feel like they're spending so much time asking the wrong questions that I'm like, with the amount of time you spent to think these things, you could have connected with 5 past clients, you could have sent an email, you could have posted 3 times. Like, we need to get our priorities straight on what we're spending our time doing, and not just in, like, asking questions, but, the marketing girl in me wanted to be like, to some of the questions I get, like, "Why are you spending your time thinking about this?" And what I guess I would say is, like, if you are sitting on the other side saying, "I don't have time for this," but you have time to tell me you don't have time, this is what I'm getting at. Okay, so if you don't have time, I want you to do an audit of your schedule. So I want you to audit a full day or even a couple different days. Every hour, kind of just check in your notes app, like, what did I do in this hour? Because it is likely that there are things in there that, like, mindlessly scrolling Instagram, watching Love Island. I just love the post that I saw once that was like, if you have time to watch Love Island, you have time to do
Yes.
something dramatic because it's such a time requirement. But seriously, like, what else? Like, if you are spending all this time creating graphics, but they're not moving the needle, or
Or
you
even,
have a
like,
CRM
making
that's
yes. Yeah, making pop buys. I mean, again, not that
yeah.
none of these things are wrong, by the way. Like, they're not, but these are more time-consuming activities, right? Addressing flyers, sending out mailers, all of those things. Those are very time-consuming. And if you're sending them to people who aren't interested in them, not only have you wasted time, but now you're wasting money as well. That's what we always say about the membership. And listen, our membership is not for everyone, and we're never going to lie to people and tell them like everyone should be in it, because it's not true. But it will save you so much time. And for less than, like, what, $100 a month, like, you could never send a postcard again if you didn't want to, right? You could stop putting pop buys together. You could stop doing a lot of these, like, things, like paying for, whether it's a billboard or an ad or whatever. Like, you could stop doing those things. Yes. And, like, if you just focus on this one thing where our methods get you in front of thousands of people literally every day for pennies to the dollar. Like, to me, it was a no-brainer for me. Like, when I joined, like, it was I maybe only had about $100 to spend on my marketing every month, but I knew it wasn't an option, right? Because again, marketing's not like fancy, fluffy. No, like if you have this awesome business and nobody knows about it, then you don't have an awesome business. Like you got nothing. So marketing is not an option. But audit the way you spend. I totally agree. Audit the way you spend your time,
Oh, and audit
and
the way you spend your money. Like, what are you
yes,
pumping money into on a monthly basis? I mean, my thing with leads is when I paid for Zillow leads, I just couldn't get past the fact that I was working for free until I had closed so many Zillow leads, right? Like, I was like, this is such a waste. And I'm spending so much time with non-serious buyers that make you jump when they say jump, or they're going to click on the next pick. Like, there's so much that goes into it. And we do, like, this was, year one of my business. I was desperate for business. And when you operate out of desperation, you get desperate results. Like, you get the the time wasted, the money wasted, the working for free, like all the things. But as soon as you can shift out of that and spend your time and your money more wisely, it's going to make a lot more sense. And you're not going to be pulled in all these different directions of like, oh, I got to send these mailers and I got to print these newsletters and I got to schedule my open house and I got to do this, like all these like random things. Like, get more focused. And I'm not, like we just said, that doesn't mean Modern Asian is for you or for everyone. But if you're listening to this podcast, you probably like the style of marketing. So do it seriously. I mean, we all need to do a time and a money audit. I do. We spend a lot of time talking in Slack, which is fun and valuable, but it's a lot. So like, audit your time, audit your spending, and what can you eliminate? Like, what can you take out that isn't either building the business you want, it's a waste of your time. Like, and we did an episode on, was it the Modern Agent Standards episode? I think episode 21, where we talked about like habit stacking. Like, I mean, listen
yes,
to this podcast while you're working out. Like, take the picture of where you're listening and put it on your stories with some context. Like, there's a lot you can do, like, with what you have that doesn't require a lot of time. Showing up on your stories every day consistently in a powerful way should take you less than 5 minutes.
yep.
Sending an email, if you did that quick story I just told you, okay, let's say 30, but you could potentially get directly in front of however many people are on your email list. And if you don't have an email list, this would be my, I guess, one more thing to audit. Do you have a lead magnet getting people on your email list
Yep.
that you talk about all the time?
All of those things. We're going to talk about the whole money thing more next week, which we really haven't talked about money a whole lot in this podcast so far. So that episode will be really good too. But I totally agree. Guys, don't get discouraged. I know, I mean, we hear stories all the time of people at like, and even like, I mean, my mom's a real estate agent still, like people, friends in my life, all of that. Like, we're not putting our heads in the sand being like, well, if you just post this, then you won't have problems. Like, we understand, like, the market can feel a little iffy, that, and it's not even, I mean, it's buyers and sellers have unrealistic expectations, right? And it's a lot of work keeping them on board, keeping them educated, keeping them motivated, keeping them trusting you. Like, we totally get that. But make your life easier by getting your marketing in place, by making sure that everything that you are doing, all of your output, is actually going toward the thing that's going to move the needle the most. And you're going to at least spare yourself a little bit of frustration, right? You're going to be able to move the needle a little bit farther, and maybe even like have room for a little bit of rest in there too, as you're caring for everyone and juggling all the things, right, Chelsea?
Right. And honestly, our goal for you, it's not to have this fancy social media account that is like influencer status. The goal is that you're building a brand that made people say, I thought of you before I ever knew I was moving. Like, that's the purpose. That's why we send an email. That's why we show up in our stories. That's why we talk about personal things that connect and get us having conversations. And also, because when you're having the conversations, you're going to show up, your story is going to show up to that person again when they're interacting with you. So like, these things are not fluffy, they're not extra, but when you take it seriously, you will notice such an amazing difference. It is crazy. And I once heard this quote, and it was, as a business owner, you're going to be overwhelmed. As a real estate agent, you're going to be overwhelmed. You own a business, you're running a business, you're helping clients with unrealistic expectations. I'm helping people with unrealistic expectations. We all are. But it's going to be overwhelming because there's always a million things you could do. There's always a million things you could improve. I mean, our Instagram, I feel like, is pretty good, but every day I'm like, Kayla, we should do this. Kayla, we should
Right.
edit this. Kayla, we should do that. I mean, it's constant. But instead of fighting the overwhelm, because it's never going to go away, learn to dance with the overwhelm.
Yes.
Accept it, embrace it, and get very clear and focused on the things that you know are going to move or that you want to move the needle.
Right.
Because whatever you are doing consistently, that's what's going to work. You do open houses consistently, you'll probably get some leads. You send postcards consistently, I don't know, you might get someone to call you. If you send emails consistently, you're going to have referrals from your emails if they're not generic, like auto-generated ones. Like whatever you're doing consistently, that's what's going to grow your business. So you pick what you'd be consistent with, but just know that it is going to feel overwhelming sometimes. And what is the other quote? Like nothing worth it ever comes easy. Like there is going to be a learning curve. There's going to be a getting started point. There's going to be I need to, again, work that muscle, get it better, get it stronger, get better and faster you're going to get faster at posting. You're going to get faster at stories. You're going to get faster at talking to camera and feel comfortable with it. I remember, sorry to tell another story because we're like winding down. I went to Social Media Marketing World Conference in 2019 thinking like, okay, like I have a membership now. I should probably go to this thing. And this was 2019. There were no Instagram stories were just coming out. And they told us to go out after the end of the talk or presentation and film on our stories and tell something we learned and go face to camera. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Right? Isn't that
Look
so
at
funny?
now.
Look at me now. Yes, no, I think that's so good. And I think, this is your homework for the week, right? Sit down, audit your profile, not even just your profile, but audit your marketing as a whole. And get yourself on camera this week, talk to the camera, say something, say anything. We don't
just
even
share
care.
Even the email example I gave of like, oh, the place that I got the food from, like that could be your face to camera thing. Like it's a busy week in real estate. And I had to share where I got these meals to help get me through the week and keep us fed and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Simple Eats and tag them. I mean, like that could be your face to cam. It doesn't have to be anything like scripted, I guess.
Right. Absolutely. I love it.
Okay.
Chelsea, another good week, another good episode. I can't wait to talk next week all about money and all the things that go along with that. It'll be good.
Money. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys. We will see you next Tuesday.
All right. Bye.
Bye. I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.